So, welcome back. Well, welcome back. One shouldn't say that. So, I also wanted to show you something. I was in London on a trade fair conference last week, and I met one of the Hitman developers, and look what he got me, a little Hitman. Isn't that cool? Even with the barcode on the back of his head. But I need to kind of stick on the pistols by myself. That's not particularly easy. I think I'm gonna do this later, when none of you is watching. Okay, parameterize tests. So here we go. Let me know if the screen size is good enough for you, or if it's hard to read. I think I can zoom in on this a bit. So the question is whether I can do one and only one parameter, okay? So interesting is whether I can use either an array of parameters. Okay, I can. So this is a function. Interesting. Okay, cool. I think we can actually do this that way. I'm just not sure if we can implement multiple classes within one file. Godot nested. Happy if you could chime in on the chat if you want. Never worked with inner classes before, so give me a moment. Okay. That is interesting, because that kind of contradicts the class name thing. Okay, but I don't mind. Good. So, so this is actually an old Godot inner class. I have no idea how they work. Why is this? Why Oracle? Do dot. With who? Whatever. Okay, we're gonna find it out. Wrong one. Okay, because I don't want to reuse that too much. So let's see. Class nested prop t. We do this like this. Okay. Oh. So we need to have an object property. Or you know what? I think I'm gonna just use the ones that I already have as a model. It's not necessarily how you should be doing, but I'm sick of doing too many new classes. I'm just gonna do this. So let's get back here. Define those. So we want an array of parameters. Per test it should be 1. And within that we want to have an array as well. Or in fact we could have, because he was talking about named ones. actual expected. And why is this? Does this not work? Ah, I see. More readable, they say. More readable. So the first one is the names, and then all the other ones are values. Okay, fair enough. And then you pass it in like that. Okay. This should in fact be the same, so 9 passed should be here. Not invalid call, non-existent function to dict. Why is that? Ah, I see. Okay. This is the problem is that we call model to dict here, but model is not initialized by here. So we would need to do this every time, and that's why we need. Well, no. We just have model in here, and model to dict still be in here. Okay, and here we would use this was the assignment. Okay, good. And actual is P actual and P expected. this. And now we need to make this a method itself, so we can each initialize model here. And that's what generate bar parameters does here. Okay. Well, it's just a function, yeah. But why does it not to have use okay, in here. Yeah. Makes sense. Func generate params. Oops. Good. Return. Var instance model. Just do this here. Okay, that should work. Good. Oh. Makes sense. It ran through. Um, got the detect call. But that was good, because now I knew it was not working before, but it was running the test, and now it works. Okay, wonderful. Now I can commit this. Revert this very change. Let's do this cleanup real quick. So get this out of the way, and then we have parameterized test. One thing I wanted to, oops. I want to kind of prefix this. Good. See how awesome it is to have that splash screen. Cool stuff. Good. Let's commit this. Okay, I kind of like the parameterization. That's cool. How do I amend? Okay, so much easier with the writer. Just need to click a checkbox. Wow. Good. So sure. Okay, whatever. Next one. Next one I'm gonna use a model that has maybe a sub property. This one only has strings. This has an entity key. Okay, I think that's a good example because entity token response has 2 strings and 1 subtype. Good. Oh, is that shit? This is how it should be formatted. I'll change it real quick. Oh, I'm so close. To not be using this. I'll just show you this because it's so much easier. Okay, next one. Oh, can you please unfuck this? Okay, thank you. Oh, funny. I'm not actually using that one. Very funny. Well, this seems to be working. And well, we might do the to dict in here. Good, so the actual is here a, what did I look for? A entity token response. Oh no. I need to create it here. What a shame. Because I need to set the properties. God, what are properties? Oh my god. It's entity. Doesn't really matter what the value is here. It's a string, that does matter. And etr dot entity token. This is token key. Okay, so let's just make entity key. So etr dot to dict is actual, and the expected result would be a dictionary with entity being another dictionary that has a entity token of test and a token expiration of expiration. What's wrong here? So used to that. Okay. Oops. Good, so we have the entity in here and we should have an ID and a type. Oh no. Oh, this is... I'm sorry. This is that. And here we have ID. And we have type. And type is that. And the ID is ASDF. Two failed. Oh, the other one actually. Interesting. So the other one failed as well. Shit. Might not have checked after the last time. How? One array? Two arrays? What? Ah. Okay. Got it, got it, got it. Okay, now that's a bit weird. I'm gonna indent this, otherwise it's gonna be so much weirder. Okay, this way we have a better visibility into that. Okay. So let's make this fail. Okay. Oh. Okay. What? Ah, okay, this one is not failed. Maybe. I was just confused that both were being shown here. Let's make the above one, this one fail as well, so we can see whether this is. Hey, Redstone Pro free? C sharp? What do you mean with C sharp? Why I'm not using C sharp? So I'm not using C sharp because I want it to be super native to Godot, right? And I wanted to be able to, or I wanted to provide a possibility for people who are not using the C sharp version, the mono version of Godot, to also be using godot-playfab. Going forward, this might have been. So this is GD Script, yes. And I actually quite like GD Script. It's less verbose. I'm a huge .NET fan. You can tell by the shirt, right? But I wanted to be super native. But going forward, it might not have been such a great decision, because what I just read from Kalino, one of the, was it Kalino, I think, or Akin, I don't remember. Someone from the Godot core team is is investing in more in .NET for the new GD extension system, and the GD extension system is pretty cool. Okay, Redstone Pro. I'm not sure whether you're aware what I'm building here. I'm not building a game, by the way. I'm not building a game. I'm building an extension that helps build people a game, right? But to quickly, so I want this extension to be used by everyone who can use Godot, right? And yeah, so the new GD extension system actually was built in a way that C# and NuGet and all of these technologies are no longer really an add-on, right? If that makes sense. So with Godot 4, if I got this right, then you can just use .NET programs within, or DLLs within Godot, which is super awesome, right? So I can write a library in C# and just load the NuGet in GD, in Godot, which would be super wicked. But that would actually mean I would be rewriting this extension. So, well, potentially, very much depends on how you want to do it. But yeah, maybe for everyone who has joined, let's give a quick recap on what I'm doing here. So, listen carefully, Redstone Pro. I am building godot-playfab. Godot-playfab is a extension for Godot that allows you to interface with the most native way possible with Azure and Godot, right? Azure Playfab and Godot. With using signals and all the native things in Godot. With native, I mean Godot native. So you feel at home in Godot when you're using that, because most SDKs for Playfab are actually auto-generated and just a wrapper over the REST API. I'm doing more or less the same, but I'm handcrafting everything for it to feel natural, right? So for everyone who does not know what Playfab is a product by Microsoft that allows you to have a backend as a service, basically. Full disclosure, I work as a technical consultant for large game studios, at Microsoft, right? So I help them build backend systems, and playfab is one of the things that we work with. Also with the Azure cloud in general, right? So I might be biased, but the cool thing about Azure playfab, it is 100% free for up to 100,000 players if you just using basically the basic features. There are things that can be that can create cost, namely, for example, backend scripts or Azure functions. But we have also a idea the Azure program for indie developers where you can register and get a lot of credits. And also Azure functions is so super cheap, like everybody can pay for that. Then has at least some pocket money. It's literally in the euro cents or dollar cent range. So why do I like this very much? Even for single player games, it makes it a lot of sense, because what you can do is you can track events, so you know what your players are doing, which is super important because you want to know what your players are doing, right? If they're actually using a level you have been building, right? Because what is the point if you build a level and nobody's using that? So think about, like, I don't know, Quake, right? If nobody uses a particular I'm an old school guy, I'm sorry. The kids in here probably don't even know what I'm talking about when I talk about Quake. So this is a multiplayer game, multiplayer shooter. You can select the map, right, to play on. Or Counter-Strike, same. If nobody plays the map, right, then why bother even working on it, right? Or if people are not using a specific area but overusing another area, that is certainly in Counter-Strike that happens a lot of times. So you can go ahead and redesign the map, right? And believe me, Valve is doing this a lot with Counter-Strike, right? So they have been, over the decades that Counter-Strike is live now, they have always redesigned the maps to exactly do that, because they find out, hey, there is a new strategy supposedly that works a lot of the time. They know exactly what's happening there, and that counter-terrorists are always winning on a specific map on a specific thing, right? Or more than the terrorists would be winning, so they need to rebalance the map. And this is what you can do with events, for example. I was talking about this earlier. That I've implemented also in godot-playfab. But also it's just like logging in, right? You have basically a publisher view where you can have like accounts on this level, and then have individual games that reuse those accounts with player representations within the game. And you can log in, you can add this with Xbox Live, for example, or Steam or Twitch, right? You can use all of these logins directly. It's all free of charge, right? You can, like, it's super simple to integrate that. I mean, with Steam, you just like enter the Steam application key, enter web API key, and you're good. Yeah, and then as I showed, when you're using playfab, you get those events directly. So just to show you real quick, when I start my demo scene, like, you log in, so you get this, and then here you can directly see that the person is logged in, right? So I can directly drill down here and view the player. So as I said, it's the master player account that spans all of the games, and then within the game you have a title player account that is just for this particular game. And then this one can have characters, for example, right? So like in World of Warcraft or whatever, or in Fortnite, I think you can also have multiple characters. Sorry, I need to eat a drop because my throat is hurting. So yeah, we also have like dedicated multiplayer servers, peer-to-peer parties with a matchmaker, economies where you can build like in-game stores, not necessarily for actual money, but you can do this as well, like for Android or something like that. You can integrate payment with it. It's all included, and you can You can also buy make a store like in Diablo and Tristram, right? You have a character sell things to you. You can build this in here. You can build leaderboards and other things. Yeah, and then have like really tough data analytics. So this is the basic thing. Like these are the events that I'm generating, for example, or the login events. But you can also do like massive queries here, and you can export this to Azure, for example, and do like import this in an even more sophisticated data analytics solution. Cool. Okay, this was a quick roundup of what I'm doing here. So I'm building this extension and also building some demo scenes here so you actually know how to use it. Good. Where was I? Building unit tests. Actually, I am very happy. Redstone Pro. Redstone Pro 3. How do you pronounce your name? I was actually kind of happy that you chatted me up because I was about to fall asleep. I had a very, very tough week. I was on a game developer event, but I also met someone from IO Interactive who gave me a hitman. How cool is that? I still need to mount the pistols. Alright. Let's continue with unit tests. Did I mention I'm not a particular super fan of unit tests? But they are super useful. I mean, I'm not a particular fan of writing unit tests. Okay, so I made both fail. Okay, they will be individually failed. Okay, this is great. So now they should be working. Excuse me. Cool, cool, cool. Also, now, watch this. This is the commit experience in JetBrains Writer, which I love for C#. And I work for Microsoft, right? I should really be using Visual Studio, but JetBrains Writer is so much better. I never said that. Good. So, I mean, like these simple features, and I can, if I want to amend, I can just like do this here, right? Click this button, this checkbox, and it takes over the last message, and I can change it. How cool is that? Yeah. Push it. Good. Also, it actually has stuff, shortcuts assigned to it. Okay, next unit test. So I did one with a sub-entity. Cool. What other use cases do we have? Let's look at JSON serializable collection. No. JSON serializable. This is what I'm testing right now. So, I have my sound. Thanks for the follow. You have all those complicated names. I'm sorry. Turemete. I can't pronounce it. I'm sorry. Thanks for the follow. I've turned my sound so loud that I was jumping now by the follow sound that I got. Alright. So, unit tests. For anyone who is not familiar with unit tests help you continuously test things that you that or code that you wrote, right? So you don't have to manually test it. I can now just press a shortcut and it will run the code, right, for me and tell me whether the tests are passing or not, which is a great thing because I've written my own JSON serialization, deserialization because of shortcomings of Godot Script. So I needed to, like, it's fairly complicated, right? And I needed to have a way to test that. Good. So we tested whether if it's an object and otherwise if it's a if it's an actual value. So this is the actual value thing and this is the object test. But the object test can also have so we need to also check the other cases, right? So if it's a sub-object, but the sub-object is actually null, then it should also return null, right? This has been a problem for me before. Figuring out this has taken me quite a bit of time because the error reporting of Godot Script is, well, meh at times. Good. And obviously there is no to-dict functionality in that. So we actually want to. No, this is really. Yeah, okay. So we want to pass in an empty object. So we actually we're not doing anything here. Whoops. That's not right. That's right. So a new array and the expected is actually to have all of these fields, but they're all empty or null. So this one is going to be null. And these will be empty. Let's put in a 1 here and a 1 there and see if it fails, because it should fail. This is how you write unit tests. You write a test, you make it fail, and then you make it unfail. So you know that it was actually executed. Right? Because otherwise you never know if your test was really run. Okay, cool. So that worked. Wonderful, wonderful. see a messed up message here. Huh. How cool is that? Also, I think we want to, because this sucks. I don't want to have an extra line here, but I think I can't do this. Let's check this if I can actually do this. Yes, I can. Okay, so this is cool, but I always want to execute to dict, and I should not need to write that. So actual to dict. Cool thing. Good, because then we can just remove that here. Goody 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 goo. Sorry for the singing. Boom. Moved call of to dict to actual test method function. It is in Godot Script. Good. Let's comment this a bit. Good. So we did a check for this. We did a check for this. We did not check for this. So what are objects? So we need to put in a non-native object. Like a vector 2, for example. That would, I've never tested these lines. Actually, so I've implemented here these lines. I implemented those. But I never actually tested them. I think we could potentially use a vector 2. Because a vector would be a native object, so it would fall into the category of type object. But it will have no toDict method because it's not implemented on it. Because toDict would only be implemented in JSON serializable usually. Oh, I need to make another class. I don't want to. just implement it here. Just to test it. Not how you do a new vector. You see how much games I've developed. By code. Is there no new? What's wrong? It's not how you implement it? Oh. Okay, good. Fair enough. This should fail most of the some tests. Yeah. This one. And it should really be x one and y should be 2. I'm writing a 0 because I want it to fail. Okay, so it doesn't work as intended. Why is this not printed? I wanted to fill, that's why I'm doing this. Because I don't think I can use debugger here. Test might not have been a great output in tests. Yeah. Is the debug good? Oh. But what we can do is, I want to debug this real quick. I actually want to see if we're coming through here, because I'm not actually 100% sure. I am sorry. What am I doing? Oh, no, still not. Oh. I'm not sure if this is actually running in debug mode. Can you set this here? Oh, thank you very much. Ah, yeah, that very much helps. Vector2 is type vector2. Ah, yeah, okay, this helps. I should actually implement a case for that. Cool, cool. Or are the type definitions are they here? Yeah, that's what, yeah, that was a good hint. Yeah, with the new keyword, in fact. Yeah. I wonder, maybe to make, do you have an idea what other objects are type object than my own ones? Are there any built-in objects? Potentially everything that is object? I mean, that is from the base object type. Yeah, there are so many. I actually need to implement all of them. Great. So this is I need to make a task on them. And I also need to make a task on them. Yeah, sure. Yes, you're right, but you know, there's this type object. I wonder if type object, what is type object, right? I mean, it's certainly the ones that I create as a user, but are there any built-in type objects? You know what I mean? So basically anything that inherits from object, but yeah, it says here. Okay, cool. Yeah, it says here which ones inherit from object. Yeah, yeah. Cheers, man. Okay. Um. just a bug I'm filing here that I saw earlier, but I don't wanna be bothering with yeah, bore you with that right now. Now implement all type enum cases in to dict. So permalink, okay. I need a refine label. Good. If anyone doesn't know what I'm working on, let me know in chat and I'll give you a walkthrough. But we're working on godot-playfab. Okay, Rim. Okay, so quick walkthrough. In my daily job, I work a lot with game developers, primarily with double and triple A studios. I work at Microsoft as a technical consultant for backends and multiplayer and stuff. We have this very great thing that is called Azure Playfab, right? And I love to work on my own games with it, right? I'm actually building a game with my brother. Actually a board game implementation as a PC game. And I wanted to use Playfab, right? Because Playfab is a, for the most part, free backend only when you're successful, meaning when you have more than 100,000 players, you usually pay for it, right? So that's that. I'll link it over here. And it has a lot of cool features, like even for a single player game, you have real-time analytics and things like that, where you can find out what your players are doing by actually using specific features of your game, right? Or you can react upon those. But you can also do like multiplayer things and authentication and with Steam, with Xbox or with PlayStation or whatever. Yeah, you can implement or hook up other OpenID providers, for example. Or yeah, this is super cool. You can reuse the same accounts over multiple games, because then so this is the master player account, but every game, what we call title here, it has its own representation of that particular account. And then you can have like characters on it. A player can have an inventory, right? And you can store data on the title. You can also do balancing variables on the title, so you can do this here, or you can put in news. So like in your game splash screen, so in your main menu, you often see kind of news, what is happening in the game and stuff. You can set this up and localize it here even. Yeah, so it's super powerful. All of this comes for free, right? And people are actually using Firebase, for example, right? I think it's so complicated. I recently saw someone using Firebase. It's so complicated for them to use that, and it actually costs money, and you don't even pay for this, right? So yeah, go use it. Ask me questions about it. I'm more than happy to help. So because Playfab has integrations in Unity and in Unreal, right? And it's very sophisticated, but actually it is just, for the most part, a wrapper around, or it uses the C# SDK, which is just a C# wrapper around the REST API. And it's very uninspiring, because it doesn't actually use the language's features, right? Or the native way how you work, so it feels a bit alien to work with it. And I always found that sucks, right? And specifically, I've been working with the C# SDK quite a bit, and there's so many like models duplicated because they're actually the same, but they're named differently in the REST API spec. So I figured this is bullshit, right? Why should users like need to cast different models just because they are named differently, but they're exactly the same, and it just confuses folks. So I want to solve these things, and I want to make it usable with the things that you're used to be using in Godot, right? So I've created these demo scenes. Let me quickly walk you through them. So do this here. So you can register, for example. You can log in. Then I can like view the balancing variables of the title here. I can send telemetry events or playstream events. Playstream events are particularly cool because you have the playstream monitor, and these are the ones that you can actually see and react upon, right? So you could, like, when such an event comes in, I can actually react upon those with backend code, with Azure Functions, for example. So I'm doing this here. There's actually event batching. You will see them pop up here. Here, this is when the second batch actually came in. So I'm clicking here a couple of times, it will batch those events and send them in batches, right? Cool, yeah. So that's that. And telemetry events are the same, basically, but cheaper. But you don't see them. It's just for data collection. Yeah. Go check it out. And for indie developers, by the way, there's also, I'm shamelessly plugging here, but it really saves you money. I'm also doing this in my work time, strictly speaking, so it's kind of work. So you can apply here, and you can get a lot of credits, up to 5,000 credits for using Azure and Playfab, and get premium support and everything for indie developers, if you are one. Cool. Okay, let's carry on. I really want to work on this. I don't want to be advertising Azure too much. So, okay. So yeah, we have this ticket. I'm just figuring out now. Okay, we wanted to check. Oh, one thing I wanted to show. I'm sorry. So when, for example, so how to use that is essentially you just pull in a new node, right? A Playfab client or a Playfab event if you just want to do the events later on, right? So in this case, I have a Playfab client in here, and this is the login screen, right? So I can just like link up the signals here, which is super cool. And this is not something that you would be able to do with a C# wrapper, right? It would not have any signals registered. Yeah. So this is why I wanted to do that, right? And handcraft everything. I also want to, here is just currently a model builder that makes it easy for me to integrate new models, but I actually want to integrate some admin features in here as well, right? Like upload like configuration data, like here in the title data. I want you to be able to like upload new values here, and actually basically this functionality, upload and download the JSON values. So because you as a game designer want to also potentially work within the Godot engine, right? And test out things. Good. Let's carry on. So we wanted to see. Oh great, I closed it. Stupid me. It's a list. So what is an easy thing to be checking out? Maybe IP? So so this does not actually have any properties. Am I reading this right? Which would be cool, because then I can just use it. Let's try. Then I can also remove this shit. And just make a new one. And this will actually be empty. And actually it will just be the property, which is weird. I don't actually know what is the result of that. What is the result of that? And do I want this? I don't. So it's probably a reference, just a reference string. Let's see. But I think it's just a no, I don't want to show the help. It's just a, I think it's just a reference ID. Not interesting. Is it just what happens here? So Okay, that worked. But then it should not crash. Ah, fuck. It crashes here. Okay. It's bad. Obviously. So I will probably never be able to. It's just. Ah! Okay, this is a different test altogether. Okay, good. Makes sense. Oops. Good. Okay. Func test 2. I've never tested this, but I think this is wrong with the subprop, returning the subprop, because it will just return the instance ID, which is maybe it's not wrong, because the instance ID is still the best thing one can get if it is like that. But I also really want to throw an error here, because developers should be noticing that ahead of or when they implement, like me, when I implement when I serialize something that is not serializable to JSON, right? I really want to know, because otherwise I'm gonna be wasting time. Ask me how I know. Good. Do. Okay, always use superverbose names in tests that describe exactly what is expected. Hands up, who loves pass? This is one of the best things I've ever seen in a programming language, because if you want to just do stuff like that, it's just fucking awesome. Love it. So, doing something that is not yet implemented. What did I do wrong? Good. Okay, so why is my declaration bad? It's not. Interesting. Oh, that's fine. This is what I wanted. So actually the same. No. actual is okay. So we have an IP. And this is this object to oh shit. No, I need a custom object with a property that has an IP or another built-in object. Oh, shit. Okay, let's build it. No, in fact, I think I do this as a subclass. Because otherwise I'm getting into a mess. Not with building object, with built-in object. Good. We have an IP property. Doesn't have a constructor, which I find weird. Well, that's about it. What's the problem? Yeah. What is problem? That's the problem. Hovering over the wrong thing. Condition what is true? Code 25, please report. I don't want to report bugs. Great. What is that? Anyone seen this before? Error condition not NC is true breaking. Call modules GD script function CPP. So T2. I don't have the source here. Opcode 25, please report. I don't want to. Just saving this for later. But let's see. I have a feeling this is because of the IP class. Plain node is implementing then. Great. Okay, let's use a node instead. Let's see. Okay, non-existent function in base node. So far, so expected. But I'm checking for this. So why is this failing? Anyone knows? To remate, you maybe. Because I'm actually checking for the method to dig before I'm calling it. So I'm actually checking if a object of type object has a method to dict. If it does not, we should be dropping down to here. But I'm getting an error, non-existent function to dict in base node. Which is strange. So it's obviously calling it. So that's a bit weird. So either has method does not do what it says, or Yeah, I mean, it obviously doesn't do what it says, or I'm using it wrong, but it says returns true if the object contains the given method, but Node does definitely not have a method to dict. I mean, does it? No, it doesn't. And obviously, it doesn't. Ah! Thank you. Good point. Good point. Oh my god. Oh my god. Thank you. Oh shit. Thank you so much. That's fine. No, that's an orphan. It's so cool that this test framework tells you when there is an orphan. Can I make inappropriate jokes? Probably not. Oh. Good. Okay. I mean, yeah, obviously this should not be equal. It is not a native object. Please implement a toDict method. That's what I want to do. But what is actually the value? Let's check this. Should be a reference ID, I guess. Yeah, let's note something. Good. Okay. I think I want to keep this because it's good, because then you can really identify what exactly is the issue. Hey, anyone knows how to get the class name of an object you implemented? So when I define, like here, my JSON serializable, I give it a class name. Is this something I can read somewhere? Because I've not found a method to do that, or an option to do that. Cool, now I need to find a way to kill the orphans. Kill all the orphans. Oh, no. I did the inappropriate joke, I'm sorry. Accidentally. Yeah, that was my experience. Oh, I didn't think about the get class thing. Yeah, exactly. Actually, let me think about this. Yeah, this is a good hint, because now what I did was for models that contains subproperties that are objects, like entity token response, I have this mapper function that retrieves the type. But if you say, yeah, it's a good idea to override get class. because those are custom types anyways, then this would totally make sense, because then I can do it on these objects. Yeah, sounds like a plan. Thank you. Right. I think I'm gonna do a little break in a minute or two. So I'm gonna fix this, then I'm gonna do a little break. Also fixing the orphans. So what I want to do is to actually check for the partial string. I think I need a regex probably. So this is the result. Oops. So we have a node and a couple of digits. And we want it to be the whole string. Okay, no match here. Great, that's what I want. Copy the example. Let's see. No, it's not part of the string. This is actually an object here. Actual will be, oh no, actual.node will be an object because that's how I return it here. Here, see, I just returned the property. But I think I'm gonna go now and do the get class. Let's see, get class. For a built-in one, what does it return actually? Does it actually return for the name for built-in one? So node in this case. Too much noise. Free viewers now? What do you mean? Or orphans? Did you mean orphans? I know, I don't care about the orphans now. We're gonna kill them all. This is really bad. And no, just realizing bad. I don't care about the orphans. I'm gonna kill them all. It's probably out of context. Not something. Right here. Okay, it says node. I do very much care about orphans in real life. Okay, so yeah, that works. So it actually returns node, which is cool. So I really edges. What is this? I need to. Oh, do I? It's funny because it shows me a lot more. Thank you. What are you? Did I lose them all, or what are you saying? Did I have more than that? I don't actually know. That's two actually now, just two of you. No, then I only have one. Bye. Redstone Pro. Yeah, it's people stop working now. I think that's why. I should probably close my stream then too. To our mate, you probably also stop working soon. I think I'm doing my. Hey, thanks for the follow. Are you watching during work? Or are you? I still don't know what you meant, Redstone Pro. Maybe you can answer this real quick. Because what you meant with free views now, did I have more before or less? Because Streamlabs shows me like, I don't know, 15 people in the chat. Those are only in the chat, I think, maybe. Not actual viewers. Oh god, yeah, it's 2 viewers. Yeah, I do have 2 viewers, 2 actual viewers. Oh, you're 16? I'm unfortunately more than double as old. Good. Cool. I want go kill some orphans now. I'm starting to get the hang of it. Where are you watching from if you say in the evening? Germany. Where are you located in? Oh, Vietnam. Oh, cool. Vietnam is actually a country I would love to go sometime. This is like generally Asia I've never been to. Except, well, I've been to India, to be fair, but Vietnam, I would love to go there. I love lush rainforest and the mentality and the food. Love to go there. Are you? Very good. Yeah, we have a small kid and my wife is not too fancy about traveling with her. Maybe I can get her to travel in the summer. That would be awesome. Love to go. So, how to kill orphans. Ah, here we go, orphans. More orphans. Test models. Oh yeah. I still need to. Are you like living in a oh, new viewer, hi new viewer. This is something I need to find out in Streamlabs, how to actually see the viewer names versus the folks in chat names. Good, okay. actually need insert here. I'm still unsure what I should be doing here. If I should be doing a hard crash and fail here, or return just the node ID or the class name, because really you should be catching this up front. Strange. I think I'm just gonna return a name. It's fine. So the assert equals node. So let it fail intentionally. Ha! Actual node. Of course. Very good. Okay. Cool. Yes, I did, but it's unfortunate. So to made I did see inst to dict and dict to inst, but they do not work properly. So if I remember correctly, I actually wrote a tweet to Akin on that, because he was saying the same. But I think those do not do this recursively. Insta-dict does not handle nested objects. All dict-to-inst needs a path, and likely the try will not handle nested objects well either, I guess. May be faster than my solution, but a lot less flexible for my use case. So that's done. But thanks for the tip. I will, so for Godot 4, I have a hunch that I will rewrite all of this in .NET. So, I mean, I've learned a lot about Godot with writing this, or Godot internals, what's possible, what's not. Yeah. So next time will be faster, I think. Also learned a lot about playfab. And this is, by the way, one of the reasons I can do this in my basically work time, because first of all, I'm creating something that people can then use to use Microsoft's product. But the other thing is I am a technical consultant also on this on playfab, right? And I need to be able to work with specific engines. So if someone wants to, in my professional capacity, ask me, hey, dude, how can I work with playfab, or how can I work with Godot and playfab, I need to have an answer, right? And I'm training myself, right? Because you can only be an expert if you're actually using shit. And since I don't have like games I'm working on anymore, a lot, or a lot less than when I was professionally making games, then yeah, I need to train on that. Good. By the way, Tourmate, are you kind of professionally working on games, or are you indie developer? What do you do? What's your relation? I'm sorry for the mic thing. What's your relation to Godot? Got it. Many abandoned projects. Oh, tell me about it. I don't know if public folks can see this, but I have like 50 GitHub projects. It's not because I complete them all, anything. And I mean, you know, even in professional game development, I have 2 games that have seen the light of day, right? But I've worked on a lot more, I can tell you that. Some git commit credits to you, Tourmate. Please stop answering on that thread. It totally weirds me out. No, it just shows me. Oh, because I clicked the answer thing. Never mind. Always thought it is you answering on a thread. Because the chat widget of Streamlabs is weird. Do 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 do. Okay, everyone. I think so. I wanted to do a break like half an hour ago. Instead, I think I'm. Until when did I actually schedule my my stream? Was it until 5 my time? I keep forgetting this. I think it was till 5. Good. Yeah, whatever. So I'm gonna do half an hour, then gonna quit it. Oh, actually, I was supposed to do until 4. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm gonna clean up a little bit, and then I'm gonna call it quits for today. So, where are we? So what I want to do is this. I don't like. I should not be using one of the models. I think I'm gonna do an inner class. On the JSON serializable pull. Class with object property extends JSON serializable, and it has a var node. No, it's not node, it's object. And the type will be class. Did I do? Or just enabled something on Twitch? Good. Now. So I'm, instead of a entity token response, I'm gonna use a with object property, object with has then a subproperty as property. So just oh, I don't actually need all of this. Great. And the expected one is, because we don't actually have this. What did I do wrong? Actually, I think I need to move the to dict out of here again. Because it doesn't show me. Ah, I now found the problem. Because it didn't show me the values that are being passed in. That sucks a bit. No, I'm not doing this. It helps me debug, but it's not good. Huh. Okay. So let's call this subject, object, and call it here. Okay. So subprop should be null here. Here we go. Why did those fail? What's the fucking problem? So it has a subprop that is null and fill bar. This used to work. Interesting, interesting. Why is this not working? I don't want to start a discussion. Go away. This is so stupid that it reports the inputs here. Once again, I need to do this. Boom, boom, boom. Then at least see some of it. I don't understand. It is called subprop. And it's foo and bar. I don't understand. And it worked before. I think. Okay. Turn everything. Yeah. Oh, not so far. So this used to work, I think. Oh. I know why it didn't, because I'm setting it here. Let's do it this way. Okay. Now this can be done away with. What's going on? Parse error. Where? Here. Oh, yeah. Run on. Ah, not unset, but not set. Oh yeah, sure. Call it subprop. Yay. Good. Last push for that today. Yeah. I hope it was a cool thing for you. Leave me a follow if you haven't already. I will be streaming development of godot-playfab again next Friday. For everyone who wants to check it out, here's the link in the chat. Please do feel free to create issues if you are interested in it. Do leave a star here or watch the repo. Whatever you think would be an interesting feature to add, let me know. Have a look at the roadmap, and I hope I can very soon finish a first proper alpha release, so to say. Alright, see you next Friday. Until then, have a good time and a wonderful weekend. Bye bye. Thanks for joining, everyone, particularly Turme and Redstone Pro for contributing. Cheers.